Just wanted to give an update on hiking activities that I've done in the last couple of months. This is December 2024. So I had two trips out to the canyon, one in October, one in November. And in October, went out there with a friend of mine, Tommy. He had on his bucket list an item he always wanted to do, and that was a rim-to-rim hike at the Grand Canyon. So we had talked quite a bit about how to do this, logistics and whatnot. We decided we wanted to do it in October, before the North Rim closed, so we could have lodging at their North Rim if we wanted to. And also the temperature is good in October, typically. We also tried to decide whether we wanted to do it fast and light and straight through, or if we're going to try and camp along the way. So we decided let's see if we can enter the lottery and see if we can get some corridor permits for Bright Angel Campground and also Cottonwood. So we entered the lottery, both of us, and neither of us were very successful at getting anything in the corridor. So we decided to try it fast and light, but kept an eye on cancellations on recreation.gov, and we were able to get a camping spot at Bright Angel Campground on the 8th of October. And that was about 30 or more days in advance. Kept looking, and we were able to also get Cottonwood the week before. So we decided to go slow and heavy and camp along the way rather than go fast and light in one shot, going up to the North Rim. And worked out well doing it that way, because we wound up having July temperatures in October of 2024. Temperatures were hitting like 100 degrees or more down at the bottom. I do have a temperature sensor that I keep in my pack in a little pocket. This is a temperature sensor, and also it's a transmitter, so it connects via Bluetooth to your smartphone. And it's from Govee, and I put a link in the description where you can pick one of these things up. The first time I saw this, it was Dan Becker was talking about it in his video, and I picked one up, and it's been really good. It continuously monitors, sends the information to an app, and plots out a line graph of the temperature profile. And I'll show that, here shortly. But I think recorded a max temperature of like 107 degrees. Now it's in the pack. Sometimes that pack was sitting in the sun. So, it probably varied a bit, but it was hot. So it was a good thing we were able to get those cancellations. We jumped on them right away as soon as we saw them. I was checking recreation.gov. Tommy was checking it often, sometimes a couple times a day. And when we saw them appear, we jumped on them. It was nice going slow and heavy. 7 miles down to Bright Angel Campground. Hiked early in the day. Started real early. Started in the dark. Got down there super early, still morning, and then played in the river and cooled off, and everything was nice. Got up to the Canteen. We did have dinner at the Canteen the first night, so it worked out good. And the second day at Cottonwood, again, 7 miles up to Cottonwood. Dumped off all our camping stuff, and then just went down to Ribbon Falls with a bottle of water, real fast, real light, just down to Ribbon Falls, check it out, and back up to Cottonwood for the evening. And then the last day was 7 miles up to the North Rim, and then we drove back, stayed overnight, and then drove back to the South Rim. So that worked out well. Prior to that rim-to-rim hike, we did a warm-up hike along the Hermit-Dripping Springs-Boucher trails, and the goal of that hike, also kind of like a soft goal, was number one, to get out to Yuma Point and see the view out at Yuma Point, but along the way wanted to stop and try and find Sweetheart Spring, It's a spring that I've read about mainly in Wayne Tomasi's book, Grand Canyon Hiking Adventures, South Rim Edition by Wayne Tomasi. Highly recommend this book. You can get it on Amazon, but it's going to be really expensive at Amazon. I'll provide a link in the description where you can get it from Wayne directly for a lot less money. Really worth the money. Covers all the name trails, or most of the name trails off the South Rim, and a lot of lesser known trails and routes and off-trail stuff. It's really a really good book. Him and his whole family have hiked the Grand Canyon for a number of years, and so it's a great book. So that was the one goal on that hike, the warm-up hike, and the other goal was to find a fossil rock that has a trackway, a fossil trackway in it. It's a piece of coconino boulder that fell off the rim area and upper level, and then settled along like the Hermit, I guess it was Hermit or Supai group, I'm not sure, maybe it's Hermit group, along the Dripping Springs Trail. And it's not far at all from the trail, and you walk right past it, but if you don't know it's there, you'll never even notice it. You have to really know it's there. And I found out about that from a fellow YouTuber. His channel is Grand Canyon TV and goes by the handle Crocky Meshkin. And I did talk to him a bit, online about where to find this in better detail. And long story short, we did not achieve either of those goals on that warm-up hike. It was too hot to really do anything more than just get out to Yuma Point. And we did collect water at Dripping Springs, got out to Yuma Point, got back, and didn't want to do anything additional just because the temperature was so hot. We were sweating and it was not great conditions, especially with the exposure on that trail. That being said, when we were coming back up to the rim at the end of that hike, Tom did have a severe muscle cramp. He had a muscle cramp in his leg. I'm not sure which muscle it was. He said he never gotten a cramp before in that muscle. It put him right down. And we had heard about a hack to take care of muscle cramps. And so we tried it out. And that is to consume a packet of mustard immediately. As soon as you get that cramp, take a packet of mustard. I also hear pickle juice works, but we did the mustard packet routine, and he's convinced. He said the cramp stopped right away. Made sure he had a lot of hydration and electrolytes afterwards too, because we still had another 600 feet of elevation to gain at the end of that hike. It was starting to get dark already, and so I was a little concerned, but it cleared up, and we still had the rim to rim to start the next day. So we wanted to make sure that everything was good and everything was fine on the rim to rim. So that mustard hack, Tommy is convinced it works. So I know the following month my grandson also did it, and he's convinced it worked as well. So anyway, that was the warm-up hike, and it was a good thing we did it slow and heavy because of the conditions. Really too hot for us to do the whole rim to rim in one shot, and it worked out well. We could hike early, play in the creek, and then hang at the campground until the following morning. So 7 miles, 7 miles, 7 miles, and it worked out really good. So that was October. And then the following month, I was lucky enough to get in the group lottery system for a 10-person cabin at Phantom Ranch for the Thanksgiving time frame in November. And there was a cancellation. The people who won the lottery pulled out, and we were the next in line. So we got a group of family and friends together, and we hiked down to Phantom and had 2 nights at Phantom. So the night before Thanksgiving and then Thanksgiving night. So we had dinner at Phantom. Night before we had the stew dinner, and then on Thanksgiving Day we had the holiday meal, which was turkey and all the fixins. They had all kinds of pies and dessert, and it was just fabulous. They really did a nice spread, tablecloths on the tables, and just really decorated nicely, and it was a great experience. The weather was completely different. The weather was cold, windy, and when we started down the South Kaibab Trail, it was snowing. That changed to rain before we got to Yuma Point. When we got to Yuma Point, the wind was just howling. We had to shelter a little bit at Yuma Point, my wife and I. We started early before the other 8 people in the group, figuring they'd catch up to us. We're going to be hiking slower, and we wanted to hike with them on the trail for a little bit, so we went down first. The nice thing about the rain initially was that it tamped down the dust quite a bit. It wasn't blowing around too badly or at all, and so that was nice. But it rained so much that it turned sections of the trail to mud, especially in the Supai group. And that mud was clinging to our shoes, and we had to stop off, and it was slippery. So it was kind of like, well, it could be in dangerous conditions. But then once we got down to almost the tip off, it was a lot better. It was drier and stopped raining, and we had no rain the rest of the time. So it was completely different conditions than the hike in October. As a warm-up prior to that hike, I did go out and did the Hermit Trail, and did find Sweetheart Spring, and did find the fossil trackway, and that will be in the remainder of this video, just to show you a little bit of detail of that. So I have to thank Crocky Meshkin, Grand Canyon TV, for showing me where this rock was, and also thank Wayne Tomasi for all his great research that he's done. He was a friend of Harvey Butcher and spent a lot of time talking to Harvey in Harvey's later years. He never got a chance to hike with Harvey, but he did pick his brain quite a bit and got a lot of information from Harvey. So anyway, the rest of this video, hopefully I didn't bore you to tears with this, but the rest of this video is just covering the little warm-up hike that I did. Yeah, that's it. Stay tuned. Today is November 21st, 2024. In the village this morning, it was 22 degrees. It is 33 degrees at the Hermit Trailhead. And today, I'm going to be hiking down Hermit Trail. I'm going to go down to around this point here and try and find Sweetheart Spring, which is at the base of the Coconino, at the Coconino Hermit Trail, or Hermit Formation Contact. Then we're going to go out Hermit Trail to Santa Maria Spring, pick up water, and have breakfast, and then go out Dripping Springs Trail to try to find the fossil trackway in a boulder that Grand Canyon TV YouTuber had talked about and posted a video on. And then they're going to go out the Boucher Trail and camp somewhere along the trail or at Yuma Point, and then backtrack tomorrow. So it is about 5:45, 6 o'clock, something like that. The sunrise is a little after 7 today, so we're going to get an early start and see sunrise along the trail. I'll start recording again when we get to the contact and head over to Sweetheart Spring. Okay, here is Sweetheart Spring. This is the southernmost spring, the first one you come to off the Hermit Trail. This is the basin that Tomasi talks about in his book. pipe that feeds it. Of course, it's dry. And there's a pipe that goes out and supposedly runs down to Waldron Basin, which is down there. To feed a camp, I guess it used to be down there. Some old wood slabs in there. Then the second seep is along the base of this Coconino cliff here. And just walk along the base of the cliff to the second seep, which has got this rock wall. It's under an overhang, has a rock wall built up. Some inscriptions over here. This was Harry Kishingbury, 89, which I assume that's 1889. And some more recent inscriptions up there too. And above the second seep is the wedge-shaped rock that is hung up in this pinyon pine here that Wayne Tomasi talks about as well. Still there, Wayne. So, looks like it's wedged in there pretty good. Still something to take note of. But this seep is also dry. Has an opening here. And then the third seep, which is the northernmost seep, just continue along the cliff edge here. And Tomasi says that this is the best producing one, and it's got water. It's been dry too, and it has a little bit of water. The seep is underneath this overhang. Very slow drips. And here is the rock with the fossil trackway that the fellow from Grand Canyon TV had spoken about. My second try, but I found it. First time last month, I could not find it. But it's pretty cool, these trackways here. Pretty big. Yeah, as big as my hand. And like he said, you can see the digits. Toes. Pretty cool.